Victor, Mizuno, Yonex, and Li-Ning. Which is the best? Hi guys, Richard here, back with another video. I've always wanted to know which brand makes the best badminton shoe, and here we are. I tested out the best all-around badminton shoes from the 4 biggest brands, and let me share my honest experience from them. Let's go! Now, the first question is, which has the best fit? What I mean by best fit is A, it has to be comfortable at all times, and B, it needs to hold your ankles well, and C, your feet cannot be moving inside the shoe while playing. In terms of fit, I have to choose the Mizuno Neo 3 over everything. Before trying out Mizuno, all these other shoes didn't feel one-to-one with my feet, but as soon as I tried the Mizuno Neo 3, I was like, wow, this shoe almost feels barefoot. For example, when I wore the Blade Max from Li-Ning, I felt like I was wearing a badminton shoe. However, when I wore the Mizuno, the feeling it gave me was quite sensational because it literally felt like it was designed for my feet. None of these other brands could reach the level of Mizuno in terms of fit. Now, which had the best cushioning? Let me place the shoes in order from the least cushioned to the most cushioned. In my experience, the 65Z3s from Yonex had the least, followed by the Neo 3 from Mizuno, onto the Blade Max from Li-Ning, and finally the A970 Nitrolite from Victor. Now, when we talk about badminton shoes, having a lot of cushioning is not always good. When we have too much cushioning, it might be nice for injury prevention, but it might slow you down when you need to quickly blast off to get the shuttle. So having just the right amount of cushioning is key. Speaking of that, when I wore the A970 Nitrolites from Victor, I gotta say I love the feeling of its cushioning. It felt bouncy, responsive, and fast. In my experience, all Victor badminton shoes have great cushioning. I gotta say it has the upper hand among all these brands. The Blade Max from Li-Ning also had decent cushioning, but Victor's shoes was one of a kind for sure. Now let's talk about support. Having great support in badminton is really important because there's many quick changes in directions and lunges. After testing out many different badminton shoes, I learned an important lesson, that support is really closely related to the fit. If it holds your feet well, that shoe has an excellent support. However, if it makes your feet moving inside the shoe, that means the shoe has poor support. So, which had the best support? I gotta go with the Blade Max from Li-Ning. It tightly grabbed my foot when I was lunging, pushing off, moving side to side. It definitely has a nice feeling of stability and support. The shoe kept on telling me, Richard, just focus on your game. I got your back. That's how great the support felt on this Li-Ning Blade Max badminton shoe. Okay, moving on to a really important factor when choosing badminton shoes, which has the best traction? No one wants to slip during the game, so we gotta make sure that your shoes has a nice grip to the floor. Speaking of best traction, Yonex badminton shoes are just too special. They have this radial blade outsole, and man, nothing grabs the floor better than this. All these other brands have decent traction, but it just feels like Yonex put a lot of effort designing this outsole. The grip surely does fade away after time, but I gotta say, the traction from the 65Z3s from Yonex was superior and excellent. So, now we talked about the main factors, it's time to choose the best overall badminton shoe. Like I said, Yonex shoes has the best traction, and Victor's shoes has the best cushioning. However, overall balance-wise, I gotta go with Mizuno. I know not many world-class players wear Mizuno, and most people prefer Yonex. However, for me, Mizuno badminton shoes were a game changer. It had a perfect overall balance of fit, cushioning, and support. I mean, it really feels like people from Mizuno put their time to engineer this perfect badminton shoe. Therefore, the perfect best badminton shoe award goes to the Colonial 3 from Mizuno. Everyone has their own taste in badminton shoes. Some prefer a lighter one, some prefer a heavy one. After all, we all just gotta try many badminton shoes until we find our own favorite badminton shoe. Let me know what your favorite badminton shoe is down below, and I'll see you soon.